All right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you can tell by the way people act when you actually talk about slavery. I think our people is comfortable being they done been in slavery for so long. I think I did some videos similar to this before too. Our people's happy with being in captivity. Like when you talk about it, it's like in their mind, it's like they saying, "Oh my goodness, he talking about uh, he talking about our slave master." You know? Oh shit, there you go. He talking about our slave master, Lord have mercy. And it's like they saying, "Man, shit." It's like they get offended when you talk about their slave master because you can tell when you kind of like speak on how you're tired. You just like I was in a situation right where I was just a few minutes ago when I was talking to some people, right, one person rather, it was an elderly, and I just said, I told her like this, I say, everybody come around when you got good energy, right? They all come around. Where's so and so at? What? Talking about myself. Well, where he at? Where he at? Where? It's like everybody wants that good energy. You see what I'm saying? But it's like you asking yourself, you starting to question yourself, well, how is this gonna help me? You know what I'm saying? Well, what is this doing for me? We still in captivity here. You know what I'm saying? We still. I mean, what is that gonna do for me at the end of the day? All out of all of the good, and I'm just being keeping it 100 right now. All the good that you do when you live up on this planet, you try to do what's right. I don't know who this is here. Yeah, it's like you try to do what's right and all that. You know what I'm saying? And it's almost like what is you what you gonna gain from that? You know what I'm saying? It's like, and what is this gonna do for you? Like everybody see you, right? And they be like, oh, this a good Christian here. Yeah, I like his energy. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna use that to my advantage. Yeah, it's like it ain't getting you nowhere. We still locked down. It's like people get offended. They so content. People just happy the way that they are. I'm just gonna keep it up above. People just happy being content. They take it as you complaining, and they'll talk about, I don't like murmuring and grumbling and complaining and all that kind of stuff. People say that type of stuff as a weapon. You know what I'm saying? But you never hear nobody say they don't talk about Esau and none of that. They When you start talking about the Caucasian people and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying?
I tell you, man, if you go
Yeah,
over, hot
yeah,
yesterday,
man.
cool, warm yesterday too.
Hmm. It's like, what is this? What you wonder sometimes, like, what in the hell is this gonna come to? You know, I was thinking last night, man. I don't. Well, slavery is a form of witchcraft. Like people, like, okay, don't you can go out here and you can get it, you can grind and stuff, like people always say that, right? Work hard, get out here and grind and get what you want, this and that and the third. Right? Don't they say that? But you got to go. You have to go to the other nations for all that stuff, man. But I'm just sitting up here and I'm just pausing. I'm just thinking about how when you talk about people doing these things for Esau, it's almost like is you wonder maybe their spirit ain't bearing witness with it or something. Maybe is they do they go back to you know what I'm saying? You're thinking all kind of crazy stuff, you know. I don't even know how to even word this video at this moment. I really don't, man. Sometimes you just don't have words. Sometimes you don't, man. Just beyond your understanding, man. Yeah. Everybody on YouTube wants the drama, I guess. That's what they want. They want drama. They want you to record something, post. They want you to record stuff. Some drama. That's what they want. That's what most of the world is feeding off of now. That's how you get popular and you get famous. You know, people want to get real popular and famous. And yeah, man. But at the end of the day, man, yeah, our people, man, they happy with being tied down in slavery. You know what I'm saying? Yep. You happy with being tied down. Yep. Sometimes you just don't know what you don't know what to do. Sometimes you know you just asking for wisdom. What moves to take? You know. I guess you know, I'm trying to. I'm just doing a lot of things. My days now, I'm just spending time doing a lot of thinking. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you work on these jobs for years and stuff like that, and sometimes you get up a certain age and you earn different, you know, different things. They don't want to like give you. They really don't want to give you what you worth. You know, the benefits and stuff. They don't want to do none of that. So, yep, they really don't, man. So what I'm gonna do, man? I'm gonna get up around this spot. Yeah, it's like if the government really is Esau, really, you know what I'm saying? It like if you take a European person, right? They can go and get work, probably a full time job, and they can hold on. They can go out here and get up. There was some music up there in the car. That's why I had to mute it. They can go and work a full-time job, make it however how much they want, right? And then they still can get help from the government. The government won't even mess with their income or nothing. But let a man of color, a so-called black man, do the same thing. You see the difference in that. That's how you can tell. It's like the real Jews or the real people of God, they give a hard time. They give a hard, they make it, they make your life, they make your life a living hell. And then on top of that, you can't even get out here and just chill and just sit up somewhere and just drink your whatever it is that you got. Give yourself a drink, take yourself and just sit up nowhere because they're gonna come out there fucking with you. You know? Esau loves harassing some damn body. And then on top of that, our people, you got to deal, our people is conditioned and programmed is to take up for the oppressor. Yep. Yep. Their condition is to take up for the oppressor. But you ask yourself, what have the oppressor done for our community? That's the question that they need to ask themselves. What have the oppressor done for our community? What have they, think about that. What have the oppressor done for our community? But they taking up for them. They even work on their police force. Have they said anything at the they working for these law enforcement on these state at the law enforcement or whatever you want to call it, police station? Have they, how many times have they made videos saying, well, we gonna make sure that since y'all, the black people, Hispanic and Native American people, we gonna make sure y'all good. Y'all out here working for us, putting y'all life on the line for us and stuff. We gonna make sure y'all protected to where nothing will happen to y'all because y'all the gods on the planet. And so when the last time, where those videos at? What have they done for our people in our community? If you go to their communities are good. They good. They living good. They good on every level. You go in their hood and you be like, they people be like, they're like, nah, we good. But how many of them ever said we gonna go and we gonna make sure the African American, Black, Hispanic, and Native American people's communities are good? How many of those videos? YouTube been around for what? Almost 20 years, like 17. I seen some videos out there from like 17 years ago. How many of those videos that you ever see of those videos out there? From the time YouTube was created up until so-called 2023. Where are those videos at? So we tired of seeing African American people in this condition. How many of the video, how many times did they ever turned their cameras on or something like that and just got out in the streets around the so-called, what they call so-called White House and said that we need to put our the blacks, the African American people in a better condition than what we men. And they walk around here with a flag talking about God bless America and all of that. How you gonna expect? First of all, number one, they don't even acknowledge that they don't have a God. Second of all, how you gonna use the Negro God, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans God, and claim that your God, and then say God bless America? What God are you talking about, Esau? Well, I mean, that's a good question. What God is they talking about when they talk about God bless America? I would like to know that, because the God that they claim that's God that they worship is the God. Is the God that's been killing our people, putting our people in captivity, putting our people in bad conditions, putting us in poor neighborhoods, poor communities and stuff. And you want to sit up talking about God bless America, and you want to have the nerve enough, so-called America. First of all, America is a man's name that put our people in slavery. That's a so-called white man's name. So how you gonna say God bless? What the hell is they talking about? Like what is you saying? Like what when they put signs up talking about God bless them, what the hell is they talking about? How can a God who steal your nationality rename you, take your language, and then call you African, which the Africans enslaved our people, and then America is another so-called white man's name that took and enslaved our people and named you a African and then name you American at the same time? How can you be African and then America at the same time? Yeah, how can you be African and American at the same time? Yeah, ask that question. Like, and then you want to say God bless the people that put our people in slavery? Make what in the hell is that? Like, shouldn't people be questioning that? Okay, let me ask you this here. What about the man that took, and I'm gonna keep bringing it up, that put his knee on Mr. George Floyd's neck, right? And when you look at God, everybody see this picture of this Caesar Borgia, this white God on people's wall. When you look at that God, that's a God that looks just like the enemy that kills our people. Rape, rob, murder, put them in the prison system, put handcuffs on them, and then take you off the prison and make you serve 25 life sentences. Some of our people, most of our people, for no damn reason at all. And that looks like, when you look at this man on this picture, that's the same God that looks like the enemy that's been killing our people for decades and centuries. And you telling me God bless? Last I checked, how can that God, the one that represents the same man out here that's killing our people, you gonna say God bless this? First and foremost, that God ain't never did nothing for us, but caused nothing but chaos and destruction. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to say God, how can you say God bless? Bless what? Like, bless what? Come on. Bless what? What do you mean? Do they use that term God bless the so-called black? Like they say, God bless America. What you mean? What you should be saying is God. Let's say God bless the African American so-called black people that we lied to. We're gonna give them everything back. We're gonna give our people back everything. That's what they should be saying. God bless that we need to give them back what was stolen. That's what they should change that post into. That's what they should be changing that posting to. Change that. Say, God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Let's give everything back to what we and our ancestors stole from the Native Americans, right? That's what it should be. Not God bless America. Like God bless the people who caused destruction. Like what is they saying? Like, and I had to really like break that word down. Like, what the hell do they mean? What the hell is they talking about? Because they making a plum. They making themselves look plums. They looking bad and stupid right now. And don't even know it. But they gonna realize, like, God bless America. God bless. Okay, what is Africa? Okay, let's look at this here. I gotta go into the F's, I think, to find. Let's see if we can find a definition of African. Let's see here. M A B C D E F. Hold on, hold on, y'all. Okay, okay. The Masquers friend, Francis for Central Hayden. Wait a minute, Hayden are not mentioned in the Bible, nor in they much used today in the Bible. Lands, the burning of fiery furnaces of Daniel 3 was probably a cement furnace. And okay, I'm trying to find something that will contain. I tell you what, let's go to this is when they talk about God bless America. Yeah, let's. Okay, okay, let's look at this. All right, it says Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of the 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark race, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians and the Ethiopians and the Libyans and the Canaanites. Genesis 10 and verses 6 through 20. His indecency, when his father lay drunk, brought a curse upon Canaan. Okay, so let's see if I can find something up in here. How did the content of in the Babylon Temple 2? How did Africa receive its name? The language of Hannibal. Let's see here if I can find something. Okay, I know where to go. You have to understand why you're saying what you're saying. Let's see if this will get it right here. Kusha conquest. The Kushite, Kushite conquest, and the power of the Libyans, king of Egypt, began to wane in the 8th century. The northern Ethiopian king, Peka, marched from his capital of Napion and invaded Egypt. The Kushite king of Napion and Mora was subservient to the Egyptians crown for over 100 years. They paid tribute mostly in gold, ivory, slaves, cattle, and fighting men at this time. The Ethiopians were bronze enough to challenge the world's greatest empire, Peka's elite troops and his mighty naval forces attacked city after city, okay, until they reached Memphis and Methemopolis fell before him, even the capital of Orskon the third, and hey, Heliopolis could not stand his advance. The enemy capitulated at the capital, and the supremacy of Ethiopia was established in Egypt. Ronald says that the Pika sailed for his home in the south, and his ships landed with the several. Okay, hold on, wait a minute. That can go along with it too. Hold on, let's. Oh, here we go. Black civilization. That's what. Here it is, right here. Black civilization. Before we embark on our voyage onto African civilization, I think that it would be interesting to the readers and the students of African history to know how the content of Africa received its name. See what I'm saying? First of all, in ancient periods, the black Hebrews referred to Egypt and the guardians of the northern, gate of Africa as the land of Ham. The Hebrew etymologists used the E. Elpon's name Ham because they were conscious of the fact that many of Ham's descendants traveled from Asia toward the south and inhabited the continent we know of today as Africa. It seems that there were no Shemitics or Indo-Europeans in the land of Ham before the enslavement of the Hebrews and the Hyksos envision ancient Palestine was part of the land of Ham before the Hebrews came and expelled the Hamites, the Hamitic Canaanites. It appeared that the early anthropologists and ethnologists classified race on the basis of cultural development and not on the basis of kinship, but the Hebrews were an exception. The early Greeks distinguished between Hellenizing and barbers because they wanted their own people to appear superior. Some of them claimed that they originated everything the advanced Romans felt culturally superior to the northern barbarian tribes, and they enslaved many of these barbarians. The Egyptians subjugated and sold other Africans tribes and that were inferior to them in culture. They convinced conceived of themselves as racially and culturally superior to other developing people. Undeveloping people. The Greek scholars took interest in black people 600 years after the founding of Narcus, of a Greek colony on a Nile Delta, about 100 BC, 1 BC. The Greek historians Strabo and Diodorus classified the European race, black race, in the interior of Africa. The Greeks received, the Greeks received slaves from the Upper Nile and west of Nile, object to the to the to the from the Upper Nile west on the Nile object to the Ethiopian kingdom. Harbert when it quoted Austell, who says that the pilgrims came from the Upper Nile, which is Ethiopia, in much of Greek's literature, and referring to the African, and the Greeks used the word Ethiopian. Moreover, the maps of Africa during the Middle Ages showed this continent as Ethiopian, knowing that the greater part of Africa was called Ethiopia. See, these people took and they put God's people in slavery, and then this is where the name Africa came in at too. When you call yourself African, you calling yourself after slave owners. The professor of Zula, and anthropology, Joseph F. Uh, Blumenbach classified the human space into 5 categories: Caucasian, Mongolian, and American Indice, Malay, and Ethiopian. Notice the father of modern anthropology does not use the term Negro, but Ethiopian. But the modern name of this continent is Africa, is a derived from the descendants of Abraham. See that? But the modern name of this continent is Africa. It is derived from the descendants of Abraham and Keturah. These descendants are offerings are Aphar, and Japhrim. The black Jewish historian Flavos Josephus wrote the following offer, and the grandson of Abraham through Keturah led a military expedition unto Libyans and captured it. When his grandchildren colonized that place, they called it from his name Africa. So that was the part that I wanted to read. That was on page 53. Now, hopefully, I said all them words correct. I might have got maybe 2 or 3 wrong, but hopefully I didn't. You see what I'm saying? So I'm trying my best to break them down. So I had to really look into those words, because some of those words were real hard. I couldn't say them all, like when you know what I'm saying. So that's how they got the name Africa. You see what I'm saying? That's how the name Africa came into play. So when you call yourself African, you call yourself after a continent that was colonized by. You got to go back and read the other part. I know y'all missed it. You know what I'm saying? But I read it from this book here. You go back and watch the video. The content of Africa. When you call yourself African, the Africans is the one that colonized all of the land of Ham and all of that over in when they colonized South Africa, West Africa, and things of that nature. Then they call the people African after they colonized it. And so when our people ran from Jerusalem, they was running from the Greeks. They ran in 70 AD and ran into Africa. So the Africans enslaved them. And then once the Africans when the Africans colonized different parts of Africa, South Africa, North Africa, and stuff like that, they took over everything. And once they took it over, then they started to call all that landmass and all those different places was the land of Ham. You know what I mean? Ethiopia and all of that. They started naming, because all the Ethiopians is what you call those people, where they was. A lot of the original tribes of North Africa would be Hamites and stuff like that, according to the history of what I read in here. And all that region, all them places they named in Africa, and they colonized it. And so the Africans took the Hamites, sold our people to the Greeks over here. You see what I'm saying? And so when they were sold to the Greeks and stuff like that, so we was named after the Greeks, and that's when we took on Greek culture and we started speaking English and stuff, because the name English was pushed on forced upon us because of when we got over here to America, we got enslaved and we started speaking the language. You see what I'm saying? And not only that, but our people started mixing with the Africans. You see what I'm saying? They started mixing with them and stuff like that. And so you got a whole variety of people. And that's why people scattered everywhere, all over the world, in different places like that. And we calling ourselves, like you got people over in Portuguese, they calling themselves Black Portuguese over in Portuguese. But they not no original, that's not their original identity. Hold on a minute, they got music. Okay, yeah, it was some music right over there. You know what I'm saying? It was some music. But oh, they got music right here. All right, y'all. I'll come back, y'all. We'll talk later. All right, we'll come back. We'll talk later.